My name is Laura Glatz from the Backdoor Furnishings in Wexford, PA. Today I'm going to be talking to you about painting this vinyl or linoleum flooring in this kitchen. Don't be afraid. This is very, very easy. We're going to show you step by step how to do this. Want to make sure you get any grease off the floor that could have been left behind. This is a really good degreaser. Okay, so step one is complete. We've cleaned the floor with our crud cutter. Now we're going to move on to step two and start cutting in with our old white. So by the time we're done with this, you'll see how easy it is. We're going to start by cutting in using the brushes. And once we've cut in, we'll go ahead and roll the chalk paint on in the center area. Just use a can opener. For this floor, because it's smooth and has no texture, we're going to be using the Annie Sloan flat brushes. If you have a floor that has texture, like ceramic tile, you can use this brush. This Annie Sloan brush works great on textured floors. So a room this size shouldn't take very long. Once I'm done cutting in, I'm just going to go ahead and start rolling, and that'll just take me a few minutes to quickly roll a nice thin first coat, and then we'll go ahead, let it dry, and do our second coat. Don't look for pretty on your first coat. It's not going to happen. It's not going to look pretty. No, you can just paint a floor just like you would a wall. You know, don't worry if you do have appliances that you don't have the ability to move. As you can see, we were able to trim right up to them, and we will stencil right up to them as well. To roll the bigger area, we're going to try out this foam roller. So the area where I've brushed, you can see where I'm overlapping with the roller. When I do the second coat, you won't see those brush marks. The second coat will hide all of this. It's been about an hour since we did the first coat on the floor, and like I said, coat one is not pretty, not meant to look good. Acts as kind of your primer coat. So now we're going to go in and do the second coat of old white, and as soon as that's dry, we should be able to start stenciling. So for the first coat of paint, we used about 3/4 of a liter of paint. Probably less than 2 liters total for complete coverage with the old white. Okay, we are on to day 2, step 4, and we are going to be putting a quick coat of clear coat over the paint that dried overnight. There's some light spots in the paint. For this first coat prior to stenciling, I'm actually going to take some of the old white paint and mix it in with the top coat to tint the top coat a little bit to cover any light spots that we still have on the floor. So by tinting the top coat, it allows you to go over the surface and not worry about losing the color. This is a smooth surface, probably not necessary. Today I'm using it more to cover any spots that still need coverage. But for textured ceramic tile, it's definitely a good idea. First top coat, mix your paint in with the clear coat. So I am going to start out trimming around the edges and then go in with the roller and just roll the center, let it dry, and then we'll start the stenciling. Because I have the paint mixed in with the clear coat, this first coat will dry white. The top coat is actually a white color. It will dry clear. You want to make sure that you're doing thin coats so that it does dry clear. This is a foam roller. This is going to be a quick top coat. So we're just gonna roll it on. It's going on good. You can see it has a little bit of a sheen. By all means, this floor could be done right now, and we could add 3 more coats of top coat and it would be done. So it could be as easy as that in a couple days. Just paint it, top coat it, and it can be done. Or you can go in with a stencil. So the next step is stenciling on the floor, and for this step we're using the Annie Sloan's new color, Oxford Navy, beautiful blue. And then the other color we're using on the stencil is the mix that's on the bottom cabinets, the Provence and Chateau. So it's gonna look really good. Since we're working with 2 colors, it would be difficult to roll the colors on the stencil, so we're primarily gonna be using the stencil brushes. So I don't want the paint to go under the stencil, so I'm working with what I've dabbed. I'm not really dipping into the puddle of paint and working it out on the plate so that it's not too heavy. And it's okay if you I'm getting on to the green areas with blue. I've already screwed up with blue where it should be green, and we'll just go over it with the other color and it'll be fine. I mean, I think anybody could do this. There are less ornate stencils, so you could always try one that's not as intricate. But it's the same skill set. Just this takes a little bit more time, and you have to think about if you're using 2 colors or more colors, you know, paying attention to where they go. You will have a one-of-a-kind floor. You will be the envy of the neighborhood. We're not looking for, you know, all those little white spaces to be filled in completely. We want it to look kind of worn. We're just gonna lift up this first stencil and see what it looks like. So we're about an hour into the stenciling, and we're just kind of taking our time. Starting to look good. So just gonna keep moving along. A little bit of information about the stenciling process. It looks magnificent, but it took 2 people about 9 hours to do all of the stenciling. A little tip, if you get a stencil from Royal Design, you definitely want to read all the directions. While we were stenciling, when we got to the edges, that's where things start to get tricky. There were some areas that had too much white space still, so we wanted to kind of fill in those areas with some of the stencil. Just kind of going along the edge with this smaller piece, around the refrigerator. Like I said before, you could have easily stopped with 1 color, no stencil, but the results are magnificent. But be prepared for a lot of time. Okay, so around the edges, we're just gonna use foam brushes to apply where the area is tight, and then we're gonna use a roller on a handle and just roll the big area. It's important to seal the floor because this is a kitchen. It's going to get a lot of wear and tear. I've used this on a lot of floors. I like it. It's very, very durable. This product does take a couple weeks to fully cure. So while you're using it during the curing time, you want to be a little bit careful with it. You know, chairs sliding across it, you would want the felt feet underneath the legs of the chairs to protect the floor. Depending on the temperatures in your house, could take 20 minutes, could take 30. Dry to the touch, apply another coat. When that dries to the touch, another coat. And then dry to the touch, 1 more coat. So this step can be done in 1 day, and then let it dry maybe overnight, and then move your stuff back in. People are worried about, is this gonna hold up? And it will. After you put the 4 coats on, you're good. So you want to make sure that you're doing it nice and thin. You don't want to cloud the colors you've used. And if you put it on thin enough, it dries super quick. And you can get right under there. So a little bit of this goes a long way. I'm very happy with the results of this floor. I think it turned out beautiful. You'll see the pictures of before, what it looked like. It's just, it looks like something out of Italy, or, you know, it looks like tiles. You can find your local Annie Sloan stockist. You can also order from our website, www.backdoorfurnishings.com. We ship anywhere. If you have any questions, feel free to either give us a call, email, or hit us up on social media. This room has been completely transformed. The cabinets, Annie Sloan Chalk Paint, we're going to show you some before pictures of what the cabinets look like. They were very rough. The floor wasn't horrible, but it was just brown vinyl. So now it's beautiful and bright. So another thing, this whole process has been videoed for you guys. I hate being in front of the camera. I do not like being in the spotlight at all, and I am literally in the spotlight right now. But I wanted you guys to have this video step by steps to give you the confidence to do a project like this. And I do encourage you to contact us if you have any questions, or if you want to see any other videos on how to do other things. We're open to hearing about them. Just let us know what you want.